And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Hey everyone and welcome. In this video we're going to be having a look at a 7-year misconduct probe over the Rotherham groomers. As it's turned out, the IOPC, which is the Independent Office for Police Conduct, have been doing a 7-year-long corruption and misconduct investigation into the Rotherham CSE scandal. 7 years it's taken for this. Now don't worry, they will release the report, but in a year's time, because one of the police officers is still under investigation. 7 years. Seems to be they like to take the time with things like this, don't they? Whereas other things are done immediately. Now, a total of 47 officers in Rotherham were investigated, with 8 found to have a case to answer for misconduct and 6 for gross misconduct. The IOPC said 5 have faced sanctions from management action up to a final written warning. Written warning. This is as high as it went, by the way. Not one has been sacked. Not one. Which tells me it's more than likely because they were only following orders. So it's the leaders that we need to be looking at. The leaders of the ones giving the orders, because they're not exempt from blame, are they? In many cases, the officers had retired and, due to legislation in place at the time, could not face disciplinary action. It's convenient, that, isn't it? Now, that law was changed in December 2017, but anyone that stepped down before that time cannot be subject to disciplinary proceedings. Now, this follows 51 complainants, including 44 survivors of the abuse, making 265 allegations about the behaviour of police officers in relation to the scandal during 1997 to 2013. Now, the operation was called Lindell, and it was launched in 2014 following the publication of the J report, the one they kicked down the road and tried to hide and sweep under the carpet. You know that one, which found that there'd been at least 1,400 victims of CSE in the town over that 16-year period, frequently at the hands of grooming gangs of Pakistani heritage. The J report said, at an operational level, the police gave no priority to CSE, regarding many child victims with contempt and failing to act on their abuse as a crime, which in itself should be 2 crimes in my honest opinion, and more than enough to get rid of the police officers that did it. I don't think, personally, we should be giving anyone the leeway, i.e. if you retire in time, you don't get charged with being completely unfit for the job. I don't think that should be an option on the table. If you committed something this atrocious, you should always be able to be got. Absolutely disgraceful. Now, you'd think that this report would kick the government's backside into action, wouldn't you? Any normal person would think that. Well, not this government. They've gone one worse. They're actually pulling support, i.e. funding, for the victims of grooming gangs in Rotherham. £500,000 grant intended to support victims of child SE at the hands of grooming gangs in Rotherham are to be axed. In a letter to Labour MP Sarah Champion, the government's Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for Children and Families, Will Quince MP, said that the grant, which was meant to cover additional costs for social care for victims in the Operation Stovewood investigation, will end. Absolutely disgraceful, this. This is Under-Secretary of State for Children and Families. How can this be a thing? This is a grant to help support victims throughout their lives, because, let's be honest, they've been ruined, haven't they? And it's all down to the government and the police, and it seems that neither of them are accountable. This needs to be highlighted everywhere, everyone. Let's make sure that these people that had a hand in the scandal, in one way or the other, everyone sees justice, including the ones that are giving the orders, i.e. the government. Absolutely disgraceful, this. Share it out. I need you to share it out, everyone. Stay sane. I'll see you on the next one.